makes the assumption if he takes this seriously, he'll take other things seriously, he gets a job. What a brilliant, brilliant observation. Of course, we think of other titles. I think, for example, of the Bhagavad Gita, the Hindu classic text in Bhagavad Gita passage 2. You have the right to work, but for the work's sake only. You have no right to the fruits of your labor. Desire for the fruits must never be your motive in working. Never give way to laziness either. In other words, don't do your job because you're always waiting for somebody to pat you on the back and say, great job, high five. Do the job for the very act of doing the job. But in the process, always be able to remind yourself of its value. But don't be lazy. Finally, of course, we think, don't we, of Longfellow's Psalm of Life. Let us then be up and doing, with a heart for any fate, still achieving, still pursuing. Learn to labor. And what's he say? And to wait. You're right. And to wait. There's got to be some patience involved if you're going to improve yourself. Finally, at 3B, the questions are, well, they're prodigious for us in this study. What is the thing in your neck? What is the challenge? We think of that story that I love to share about my son Mikey learning to ride a bike. He wanted a bike. I bought him a bike. He got the bike with the training wheels on. He didn't like the training wheels. He wanted them off. We take the training wheels off. Now he's freaked out. He's scared. Why? Because he knows he's going to fall and it's going to hurt. I say, son, oh, it's going to be terrible. Let's go. Out we go. Of course, he falls. He jacks himself. You know this story. I've shared it with you many times. And of course, he's mad at who? He's not mad at himself for forgetting how to use his brakes. He's not mad at the city engineer for putting the curb there. He's, of course, mad at, you got it, mad at dad. Stupid, your dad took the training wheels off. This is, of course, the challenge. This is the way we learn to grow up. Somebody takes our training wheels off and says, you can do better. And we have a tendency to resent somebody in our life that maybe does that, points out our faults. You'll know you've grown up. Franklin will point this out. You'll know you've matured when you can take off your own training wheels, when you can challenge yourself. What can I do better? How can I be better? Of course, we think about Plato's cave allegory from Republic 7, don't we? All learning involves, just like with Mikey and his bike, fear and pain. All projects of self-improvement involve fear and pain, don't they? We can think back in our own life at 3B as we are relating this to ourselves, to a moment when we tried something and we failed and then we quit. Ask, why did you quit? Ask yourself, why'd you give up so easy? Why not come back again? As we now continue with our study of Harvard Classics Volume 1, we are going to go from the great American intellectual thinker and doer, Ben Franklin, and his autobiography, to somebody who's very well known, to somebody who today is virtually known not at all. His name is John Woolman. He is an amazing choice for number 2 in this list of Harvard Classics. He is a remarkable voice of the abolitionist movement before it was the abolitionist movement. And we're going to ask some questions about what kind of courage does it take to stand up and say, no, that is wrong, even if everyone else thinks it's right. Let's come back here in a little bit and let's meet this amazing thinker. Thank you. And thank you for your kind attention. Bye-bye.